All right, it's time for the classic, favorite, most wonderful factoring. Here we got our AM method, reverse FOIL method, however you want to call it, right? We're going to factor this trinomial, and it's going to be awesome. And Jenny is still here. She's still asleep. Jenny, what you doing? What you doing, Jenny? Nope. Not entertained. All right, let's go for it. So we're going to multiply to -10, add to 3. A lot of people set these things up a little bit different. A common thing is throwing an X over there. I want to multiply to -10, so multiply to that. Make sure that looks like a 10 there, all right? And then we want to add to 3. So we want to add to 3. What two numbers are going to do that? Well, that's going to need to be a positive and a negative number because that's a -10. So I'd have 5 and -2 would do that. 5 times -2 is -10. 5 plus -2 is going to give me 3. So now what I have here is x plus 5 and x minus 3 equals 0. I can set these two factors equal to 0 to solve. So x plus 5 equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. A lot of people like to kind of jump with that one, just go right to the answer. You could do that if you feel comfortable, but you know what? I like to show all my steps. I love showing steps. Showing work is one of my favorite things, you know? All right, and then I'm going to have x equals positive 3 over here. Boom, dynamite. All right, let's keep moving. How about this one? Oh my goodness. It's not set equal to 0 yet. I got to set it equal to 0 before I try to factor, right? I see a quadratic. I see a linear term, right? The quadratic is my x squared. The linear term is that 5x. And I've got a constant. That's just the 4. Constant is the 4. I got to set this all equal to 0. Okay, so x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. All right, now we want to go with what multiplies to positive 4 but adds to -5. Well, what the heck's going to do that? Well, if it's going to add to a negative number while also multiplying to a positive, they're both going to need to be negative. So I think the only option is -4 and -1. That's going to multiply to 4, and it's going to add up to -5. So I'm going to have x minus 4, and I'll have x minus 1. And that all equals 0. So now I have x minus 4, oops, not 5. X minus 4 equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0. And I can solve and get x equals positive 4, x equals positive 1. That is totes awesome. Totes awesome. Question. Why is setting this equal to 0 and setting each individual one equal to 0 even, why does that work? I just know what I'm told, right? Well, if I were to plug in 4 here into this part of the equation, I'd get this guy right here is 0, and this one over here is 3. But 0 times anything, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, who cares? 0 times anything is going to be 0. So as long as I get one of these two factors to equal 0, the whole thing is going to equal 0. So if I plugged 1 in right here, I get 0. Over here, I get -3, but who cares because 0 times anything is 0. That's called the zero product property. And that's your whole strategy with factoring and solving is getting one of those factors to 0, makes the whole thing 0. Okay? All righty, last one I think here. So once again, we're going to solve by factoring. Now, you might be thinking here, wait, there's a lead coefficient. That's a whole different type, man. Well, I'm not ready for that yet. That's okay. Remember GCF? How about we take out a GCF? All those are divisible by 2. So I can take out a 2, and I'm left with x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Woo! All right. Now, if you'd like, because we're solving, I can just divide by 2 on both sides here and get rid of it completely. If we were asked to factor this and just factor it, you need to leave that 2 in for your answer, okay? So really on both sides right now, I can divide by 2, and we're going to be left with x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. We'll talk about that other scenario here in just a sec once we finish this one. So once again, I'm going to multiply to 6 but add to -5. That's going to be -3 and -2. That multiplies to positive 6 but adds to -5. So I have x minus 3 and x minus 2. Whew, that's awesome. So I got x minus 3 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, and I'll get x equals positive 3 and x equals positive 2. Now, like I said earlier, hey, if this just asks you factor, doesn't ask you to solve, just straight up factoring, your final answer would need to be not only these two pieces here, but also this original 2 that we had. So your answer would be 2 parentheses x minus 3 x minus 2 if it just asked you to factor. You'd have to have that 2 there, but because we were solving and because that 2 doesn't have an x attached to it, there's no solution with it. We are donezo with just these 2 wonderful solutions. Well, that was awesome. What do you think, Jenny? Jenny loved it. Jenny loved it. Yep. Oh, look at that. You got up for it. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. America, freedom, rock and roll, Costco, Riverdog Jenny on the gram. Peace.